It's me, Right Rican, and today I'm going to be talking about why I voted for Trump. A friend of mine from high school just recently asked me why I voted for Trump because he put one of those stupid memes about, you know, if you voted for Trump, you voted for racism and all that. And I'm like, dude, I'm Puerto Rican and I voted for him. You got friends, you got family members who voted for Trump. It doesn't make someone racist by who you vote for. People vote on policy, and especially 2016. I mean, it was a big difference. Not that there wasn't a big difference this time around, but I was, I grew up Democrat. My whole family's Democrat. Sad to say, they, especially my immediate family, they all voted for Biden. I tried to talk to them, but sometimes it's just in them that they have to vote Democrat. But that's not what this video is about. Like I said, it's about why I voted for Trump. In 2016, he was the candidate who was the anti-war candidate, and people forget that. I mean, after 8 years of Obama, Obama was initially the anti-war candidate, but that changed 8 years later, and that was Trump. So if you're someone who is anti-war, you should have been on Trump's side. If you're still anti-war in 2020, you should have voted for Trump. One of his best, some of his best stuff was his foreign policy. I mean, the peace deals that he did in the Middle East with Israel and other countries recognizing Israel. That's huge. Let's see what happens if that'll continue on the Biden. That's one. Two was, if you look at it, the whole TPP, the free trade, even Bernie was against TPP. And that's why a lot of Bernie people voted for Trump in 2016, because they knew what they were going to get from Hillary was the same thing. They knew that they're going to get this TPP, they know they're going to get this globalist agenda of free trade, where really that free trade was only going to really benefit China. Same thing, that's what was going on with NAFTA. That's why we had to rework NAFTA. He said he was going to rework NAFTA because what happened? Chinese people would ship the jobs to China, do the manufacturing in China. Then instead of porting in the U.S., they would save money and port and go to Mexico and then drive the stuff up. That's how much these trade deals really screwed our country over. And this is stuff that people didn't see in 2016, and in 2020, the deal was worked. The economy was booming for everybody. Everybody's the rich made money. The rich made out during the lockdowns. That's when the rich really made out, because the big companies, guess what? They got to still work. Walmart, Amazon, all these big companies, they got to still make money. But who got screwed? The mom and pop stores. And people want to blame that on Trump. I'm not going to argue about his handling of the virus, because you know what? Hindsight's 2020. Everybody wants to say, oh, but this, but that. Look, listen, we're about to, we're going to see lockdowns again. We're going to see lockdowns because politicians are too scared to tell people you can't have both. You can't have a flourishing economy and worry about this pandemic. The pandemic's, I'm not going to address the pandemic either, because God knows, depending what I say on YouTube, I know this is good. I'm still a new channel and I don't want to get any strikes. So, if you ever want to know what I think about the pandemic and stuff like that, about the statistics, you could comment on my comment. We could chat on my Facebook page, or we could check on Parler, Twitter, whichever one you want. You could send me a DM. We could chat about it. But with that being said, those are a couple of reasons why I voted for Trump. And one of the main things for me also was this we have a cultural civil war going on in this country. I know, people talking about Latinx, and if you ask like old school people, nobody, they don't know what a Latinx. They're gonna look at you like you have two heads. I still want to look at people who try to say that with two heads, because mainly it's these woke white. I don't even want to call them liberals. I'll just call them progressives, because those are the ones that are appeased with using that type of language. I don't have anything against transgender people. My best friend of 30 years is gay, so I have nothing against the. I mean, I've I don't, I've went to gay bars with her, hung out and everything. So to me, anybody, can't call me racist. You call me self-hating. You want to call me a Tio Tomas. You want to call me an Uncle Tom, whatever. I don't care. I really don't. And that was something that attracted me to voting for Trump, was that when it comes to this culture war, he didn't care. I'd use different language. Like I said, this is YouTube. He didn't give an fill in the blank. And if you came at him with that stuff, that's why he told black people, what do you have to lose by voting for him? And it's true. And before the pandemic, black unemployment, Latino unemployment was low. It was super low. And the benefits were going to everybody, because there's the saying that goes, a rising tide raises all ships. And that's what happened during the Trump economy. Yeah, rich companies, rich people are always going to make money. That's, they're rich. They're always going to make that money. But when the economy's booming as it was helping everyone. It was helping everyone. And people forget that before the pandemic. The lockdowns, it was supposed to be for 15 days. But Trump didn't do a national lockdown. He left it to the governors. That's why you have some governors that did stricter lockdowns than others. You had people like Kristi Noem in South Dakota, who she barely locked down. I don't think she even really locked down at any point. She just stressed the social distancing, stressing mask, and hence why I have all this stuff on, because these are my cool masks that I like to wear. But why do I mask up? Because there's crazy people out there. It's like I can't have my opinion. So with that being said, let's keep going with the Trump video. I'll go on tangents if you keep me talking. Anyone who's talked with me knows I'll just keep going and going. But these are the different things that the media didn't. In 4 years of Trump, all we got was over 90% negative coverage. But sometimes, as much as I like that he was a fighter, he also did it to himself. I understand why people don't like him, but it's a character flaw that people don't like about him. It's notice it's never his policies. I mean, some of the policies that he did, it wasn't only started by him. Like, people talk about the children in cages, but most of the irony was, when I remember reading these articles, seeing pictures, the pictures weren't even from when he was president. The pictures were from 2015 when Obama was still president. And I'm just there laughing, and it's just silly to me that you voted for someone. This is not a popularity contest. This is not high school. No, since this was a video for a response to a friend from mine from high school, it's not a popularity contest. He did a good job in 4 years. Especially look at all the stuff that he had to go through. He had years of Russia nonsense, and people ignored the whole Russia gate, because people ignore the Spygate. Like, the media talks, oh, he wasn't spied upon. It depends how you want to look at it. But his General Flynn was, General Flynn was done dirty. Anyone from, people from New York understand what I'm talking about when I say that. He was just done dirty. And if you can't see that, it's because the media doesn't tell you. They tell you the media is biased. Any media and any personality who tells you that they're neutral, that they're unbiased, they're full of it. They are full of it. Okay? Everybody has a bias. Now, if they're honest about their bias, they'll tell you. Because, like I said, look at the media. 90+% negative coverage. 8 years of Obama, 90% positive coverage of Obama. Obama did no wrong. The whole thing of no scandals, that's nonsense. There was plenty of scandals, just the media just covered it for him. They didn't cover it. They would maybe put it in the back page. They wouldn't stress it, like, Trump says something stupid, it's on the news, he'll do something good, and they'll look for something that he tweeted, and then they'll talk about the tweet instead of talking about his, like, when he passed the peace deals. Instead of talking about the peace deals, they'll talk about something he tweeted 2 days ago. Oh, Trump tweeted this, and it's like, okay, what can we do to avoid talking about his positive stuff? And this is what people got to understand is the media manipulates us because they're biased. And like I said, I just wish they would admit to their bias and we could go from there, because that's the problem. They're talking about the integrity, but integrity, give you real bias. I look at CNN. You have Chris Cuomo, who's the brother of Andrew Cuomo, who's the Democratic governor of New York. And look at the stupid interviews that they did. The puff pieces that they did. That's, that shows their bias. And, Fox has its bias. But you know what? You want to hear something? There's more people on Fox that voted for Biden than there's people who voted for Trump on either CNN, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, all of them. So there's bias there. We're being manipulated. You got to read between the lines. You have to read both sides. You have to. If you want to get the truth, you have to read both sides. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Yes, do I have my bias? Yes, of course I have my bias. But I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't. I'm going to have a right bias. Hence my name, the Right Rican. But will I have some stuff that I may disagree with my more conservative friends? Yes, because I'm not super conservative, but I do lean right. So, with that being said, if there's things that you think I'm missing about anything else you want to know why I voted for Trump or why there's other Latinos that voted for Trump, reach out. And I'll be glad to answer any questions. With that being said, have a good night. And don't forget to, if you like this video, subscribe and click the bell for notifications. And give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you.